Hello, I'm Shy Silverleaf and welcome back to another series. This time I'm going to be teaching you how to do ribbing in Tunisian. Now, ribbing in both crochet and knitting, please don't judge my knitting. I am terrible. I already know that, which is why I haven't done any series on knitting. But the whole point of ribbing is to give something that kind of condenses down a little so it snugs up around, like, say, your wrist, your waist, or wherever, but also has stretch, a good amount of stretch, so that you can slip it over your hand, your head, wherever you really need that extra without adding a whole lot of bulk. Now, in Tunisian, the biggest problem with trying to do ribbing is there's a couple of limitations, okay? The forward pass isn't so much limitation because when you work it, there's actually a pretty fair amount of stretch between the stitches. The main limitation that you have is actually the return pass coming back. This is Tunisian simple stitch and it doesn't have a whole lot of stretch. This is done in the exact same yarn. It's just acrylic, and see how much stretch that has with your usual knit, purl, also known as a 1x1 ribbing. Okay, so what I have done to combat that is I actually have 3 examples of good ways that it is combated. Okay, in this one, it's actually done this way, and this is my own little stitch that I cooked up for you. You do a simple stitch, you skip the next stitch, simple skip, simple skip, simple skip. However, on the return pass, you'll notice you have the normal return pass, a chain one over your skip stitch, and return pass, chain, return, all the way over. And it's these chains in between the return pass that help give this example, see, this has more stretchiness than our regular Tunisian. I could hold both of these together. They're not quite the same length, but I could stretch them out and see this one stretches a lot more than this one does. Okay, and the way you set this up is you out of the way, you. And if you don't get my nails, think purl, knit, purl, purl, knit, purl. Just trying to emulate some ribbing on my nails. I think it's kind of fun, but that's okay. Now, this is done in increments of 2 plus 1 on the end if you're working it flat. If you're working it in the round, then it's just increments of 2 all the way around. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to chain like 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this time I'm using a regular Tunisian hook. What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we'll do 9, 8, 9. So there is no foundation row on this. You're just going to jump right into the pattern from the very beginning. Okay, so this is the one on our hook, counts as the very first one here on the end. So we'll skip, simple, skip, simple, skip, simple, all the way to the end. Okay, you skip the first and the second, go into the third. Okay, skip the next one, go into the next one. Skip the next one, go into the next one. And you can, sorry about that sound, it's the back of my hook rubbing against my table. Skip that one, go into the last one. Work a normal selvage edge in the last. Get that out of the way. Okay. And then on the way back, if you'll remember, it's going to be normal, chain, normal, chain, normal, chain. This chart and my other chart will be available to you through Instructables.com under Shy Silverleaf. I'm the same everywhere, almost everywhere I go. So that we do. Okay, normally we would do chain 1, or excuse me, yarn over, pull through 2. But this time, we're skipping 1. So it's chain 1 more for a grand total of 2 chains. Then yarn over, pull through 1, that's over the skip stitch, chain 1, that goes over the next skip stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, goes over the skip stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, we just worked the first row of our rib stitch, and you'll notice that it's the same no matter how long you need it. So we're going to just skip this stitch completely, simple the next one, skip the chain, simple the next one. You're going to simple in every single simple you've got, and then you're going to go all the way to your salvage stitch here on the end and work a normal salvage stitch. Oh, come on, you. If it cooperates. Okay? That's our normal salvage stitch. Now remember, you're going to chain 1 more and then begin the rest. So yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, keep it going, pull through 2. And you'll notice that as you work it, what's happening is that your return pass with, come on you, the return pass is actually going flat with each. What just happened? Oh, I did a yarn over. Oh, one too many. Let's back that up and try again. If you hear a voice in the background, please ignore it. It happens to be Pilch Plays. Going back to your regular return pass, or excuse me, your regular salvage edge, yarn over, pull through 1, and you look and see, this is what I meant. Here, it's nice and stretchy, but mostly the return pass is what causes it to really scrunch up and not be as stretchy. You'll notice that you would think that by skipping every other stitch, you would have these gaping holes in your work, but the return pass actually folds backwards on it and covers up the holes very nicely for you. Okay, to work a bind off row in this, I will show you with the next one. Okay, that's 1, 2. Let's go back. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. It's been a while. Okay, now to work the return pass, you're going to chain 1, simple stitch, pull through the loop. Chain 1, simple stitch, pull through the loop without loosening your yarn. Chain 1, simple stitch, pull through the loop. Excuse me. Chain 1, salvage stitch. Okay, remember that comes up 2. And I go through a yarn. No, I don't. And pull through the loop. And ta-da! There is a nice, neat little return bind off row for our ribbing. And it actually sits fairly nice and flat this time. I don't know why this is wanting to curl up. Wrong one. This one! Don't know why it's wanting to curl up, but that's perfectly okay. Alright, so this is ribbing number 1. Okay, the other ribbing that I came up with, so I yank this apart, is takes it in an ever so slightly different approach. Instead of solving our stretch problem in the return pass, I actually solve it in the forward pass itself. Another way to combat it, if you don't want to fiddle around with the return pass, is actually to do yarn overs. Okay, so instead of skipping, we do skip a stitch, but we yarn over instead. And those yarn overs help with the stretchiness as well. See, this has a nice bit of stretch. But however, the disadvantage is, as you can see, this actually, the yarn over puts gaps in it, whereas just the skip stitch and chains doesn't put any gaps in it whatsoever. So this might be good for something a little cooler, a little airier, but you still want a good amount of stretch. Okay? To do this one, we're going to still do the same, everything wants to come. We're still going to do the same 9 chains. And this, once again, is worked in increments of 2, plus 1 if you're working it flat. If you're working it in the round, then it's just 2 all the way around. And it should be stable enough that it works well in the round. Okay, so chain 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We're going to, once again, there is no foundation row or round in this. You're just going to jump right into the pattern, and we're going to, remember, yarn over instead of working it. So once again, normally we would skip the first and work into the second. We're going to yarn over and we're going to work into the third one, because the yarn over is taking the place of that stitch right there. Okay, so yarn over, skip 1, go into the next. Oh, come on, you. My yarn is protesting. Yarn over, skip 1, go into the next. Yarn over, skip 1, go into the last. Okay, work your salvage stitch. And this one you'll see that instead of doing chains, we're just doing a regular return pass all the way across for every single row. Like I said, the yarn over helps combat the non-stretchiness. Sorry, I can't think of the right word. It just totally escapes me. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't get it out. Well, so yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way across. Okay, and we already have some of this airiness, which is the disadvantage and the advantage to it. This would be great for like maybe a heavier yarn that you want to lighten it up a little, but you still want ribbing. Okay, so yarn over, simple stitch, yarn over, simple stitch. You're simpling in every single simple. And you're yarning over all the yarn overs. And this is a 1 row repeat, so you can repeat it for as many times as you need. Salvage stitch and salvage stitch. There we go. Okay, and return pass back. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you guys. Oh, so sorry. Alright. And see it's starting to emerge. Once again, the return pass is folding back behind, but you're getting, because of the yarn overs, you're getting a big gap in between each of the stitches. Alright, we're going to do this one more time, and then I'll show you how to do the bind off row. And I suppose you could offset these by working full stitches in the yarn overs and yarn overs over full stitches if you wish. That would make for a very interesting ribbing. Basically, a good ribbing stitch has either yarn overs or chains in them, or both. If you're in doubt, just make up a little sample of it and hold it over top of a ruler, and then take it, holding it at like the 1 inch mark, seeing where it falls, and then see how far you can stretch it. Like this one I got, looks like about, relax a little more, a good inch or so. Let me hold it just on one end and see how we do. Yeah, about 1 inch, almost 1.5 inches of good stretch out of that one. And as long as it doesn't get bent completely out of shape, it will actually return back into shape. You should be good. Okay, now for the bind off for this. What I did is I actually, instead of yarn over, I'm doing a chain. Then a simple stitch and pull that through. It's the same bind off that I used for this. Chain, work your simple, pull it through. Make sure that this isn't too tight, because you can actually work this perfectly, and then when you come to your bind off row, do it so tight that it negates, that's the word I was looking for, negates the stretchiness of the whole entire thing. You can have the same problem in knitting, from what I've understood. So chain one, simple, and pull it through. Oh, come on, you. Chain, selvage stitch, and come on, you. Pull it through. And here is ribbing number 2 for you. Nice, light, airy, and this chart will also be available through my account in Instructables.com. Link is below, supplied for you. And this has a pretty fair amount of stretch. This is 100% cotton, so we know that doesn't have a whole lot of stretch. All the stretch you're seeing is what I've put into it. Now the last kind of ribbing is the first ribbing that I have ever worked, and I love it, love it, love it to death. I mean, look at this. This is a beautiful decorative stitch that I found in this wonderful book, the New Tunisian Crochet Contemporary Designs from Time-Honored Traditions by Dora. I'm not even going to try and pronounce this because I'll butcher her lovely name. But I found it in this wonderful book as I was trying to find ribbing for just some kind of stitch for a project. And it's decorative, it's beautiful, it's got great, come on you, great stretch to it. I'm not going to show you how to work this. If you want to find out, you're going to have to buy the book, sorry. But this is actually what started the quest that led to my other two, wrong one, my other two ribbing stitches that I created for you, because I analyzed this and tried to figure out, okay, what on earth is allowing this to stretch but not allowing this? Well, part of it is the fact that this is regular simple, and there's not a whole lot of stretch here. It's this lovely little section here where it's happening. And like I said, you'll have to buy the book and explore how to create this yourself. Absolutely gorgeous, and I'm actually holding it upside down. Shame on me. It goes this way, and it's these stitches scrunched together that help give it its wonderful stretchiness that I love, and it's so decorative and so pretty. You'll have to wait and see what project I'm cooking up using that stitch. Thank you for watching this series on ribbing and these two lovely ribbing stitches that I created for you guys. I hope you go absolutely bonkers with these and apply them to any and every project that crosses your path in Tunisian. They're really simple, really easy to get the hang of, no fancy anything required, as you saw. Great for everything. And I will see you later with the next series with Hook at the Ready.